tabernacle to temple. Provo's tabernacle was in flames last year, but will soon become the city's second temple.
Mormon migration. LDS members travel the globe to get a seat at General Conference.
And Midtown auction. What will become of Orem's half-finished Midtown Village this month. I'm Rachel Schwartz.
And I'm Angela Santos. It's Monday, October 3rd, and in Utah, it's 12 o'clock.
From KBYU and the BYU Department of Communications. This is the award-winning 11 News at noon.
If you love to see the temple, you'll be happy to know another one is coming to Provo. A fire left only charred exterior remains of the historic tabernacle last December, and those walls will now house a second Provo temple. 11 News reporter Brianna Carr joined thousands that gathered at the conference center this weekend to hear the announcement. Brianna, do we know exactly when the church decided to transform the tabernacle into a temple?
We don't know exactly when they started to plan this. But after the church purchased 2 businesses on the plot south of the Provo Tabernacle, it was more and more obvious that something was in the works.
President Monson started with a simple
hello.
And while the anticipation of new temple announcements grew all over the world, the prophet talked about one that truly hits home for us.
Late last year, the Provo Tabernacle in Utah County was seriously damaged by a terrible fire. After careful study, we've decided to rebuild it with full preservation and restoration of the exterior to become the second temple of the church in the city of Provo.
The Provo Temple is one of the busiest in the world, with missionaries coming from the MTC, students from BYU and UVU, in addition to the member families in the surrounding areas. For BYU student Brooke Ahern, the restoration of the tabernacle means shorter lines and more temple visits.
I just go and do confirmations and baptisms, and there's always so many people, like always youth groups, so you have to make sure you go in with a certain time frame, or else all the youth groups are there and you never get in.
President Monson announced 5 other temples that are soon to dot the globe. The others include Star Valley, Wyoming, Barranquilla, Colombia, Paris, France, and Kinshasa and Durban temples in Africa.
Even though those 5 other temples are giving more members an opportunity to attend the temple, President Monson also mentioned giving to the General Temple Patron Assistant Fund. And this is just a fund that helps members get to their nearest temple if they can't afford it by themselves.
That's great news. Thanks, Brianna. Students and faculty at BYU are excited today after hearing they will soon have a second temple in Provo. Many say they're happy to see the historic building they grew up with turn into something so special.
I was pretty surprised about having another temple here in Provo.
I was really excited. I was very surprised. Definitely not something I expected, but it's something I'm definitely looking forward to.
I was really excited when I heard that they were making the tabernacle into the temple, and I think that it'll be great for getting work done quickly.
The funnest, most exciting thing is it's such a historic building. It brings with it history and culture, and then combine it with the temple, and you have just a synergy that will happen.
Kind of been like a Provo landmark, and now what is that going to do that people can't go in it now? But hopefully it'll be a good thing, because then people will ask more questions about the church.
Plus we have a place where every bride will want to go.
The converted Provo Tabernacle will be the 16th temple in the state. There is no word yet about when the construction will begin.
BYU President Cecil Samuelson will continue to serve at his post despite release from the First Quorum of the 70. Samuelson received emeritus status as a general authority on Saturday, but the LDS Church website says his role at BYU isn't over. Samuelson turned 70 years old this year and has been a general authority for 17 years. A family from Tahiti spent a decade saving their money to attend just 2 days of the LDS General Conference, and they aren't alone. 11 News reporter Hanalei Ho shows us the sacrifice it took to make this once-in-a-lifetime trip.
Many people traveled thousands of miles from around the globe for just a few hours of church meetings, but for them it was worth it.
Tia'ahu Norbert traveled more than 4,500 miles for a chance to see the leaders of his church speak in General Conference.
That's my dream for 10 years. It's not the same when you stay home or you see by TV. This one is the real for me, and you can feel directly the spirit.
Satya Katuka traveled to Utah all the way from India without her family. It was too expensive and time-consuming for them all to make the trip.
I wish they could come and see these places and feel it. Gives me amazing experience.
For those who visit from around the world and may not speak English well, they can have the meetings translated into their native tongue.
I'm translating 138 languages today. Swahili, French, Tagalog, all sorts, Mandarin.
Need a ticket? International visitors can bring their passport to this gate, where they can receive tickets to all conference sessions.
I know that here, I will be hearing what God wants to counsel us on, that we can listen to counsel for each one of us.
After conference comes the long trip back to their homelands, where most will watch or listen to the next conference by TV, radio, or the internet.
Everyone I talked with says all the saving, traveling, and sacrifice made their journey to General Conference all the more meaningful. Rachel and Angela?
That's really great. When 11 News at noon returns, set free, will a convicted American win over an Italian jury today and get her freedom?
And packed classes. Find out which foreign language seems to be the one everyone on campus wants to learn. Stay with us. The funeral for Orem Mayor Jerry Washburn is just now getting underway. Washburn lost a long battle with cancer last week, having served as mayor for 11 years. His family says he was a devoted grandfather who regularly attended his grandchildren's activities. The city says that they will wait until after the funeral to find a new mayor to replace Washburn. People tired of seeing the half-constructed Midtown Village on State Street may get a treat this Halloween. The development will go to the highest bidder in an auction October 31st. The city says the owners still owe more than $80 million to Orem and other creditors. The city is first in line for payment, followed by contractors and banks. The legislature is meeting in special session to finish adjusting congressional boundaries to create a new 4th district. The current proposal divides the state into 4 largely rural congressional districts, with Salt Lake and other urban counties at the center. The new district would largely be Western Salt Lake and Western Utah counties. Opponents say it doesn't equally represent the people, and Democrats say the map dilutes Democratic votes and means Republican incumbents will face less opposition at the polls. A meeting on the proposal starts at 2 p.m. today at the Capitol.
An Italian jury may free an American woman from prison. China rescues people stranded in floodwaters, and a new incubator is saving newborns in developing countries. This is your look at news from around the world. An Italian jury is deliberating today whether or not to set American Amanda Knox and her former boyfriend free. An Italian court convicted them in 2009 for the murder of Knox's roommate. She says in her appeal that she has been paying for a crime she did not commit, and she was nowhere near the scene when it happened. The decision may come as soon as this afternoon. Rescue teams in South China are aiding villagers stranded in floodwaters after Typhoon Nisat. It forced more than 100,000 people to relocate and damaged 8 cities. Firemen in the area are working around the clock to save people. The water is already receding, and now thousands of people live in refugee centers. And students at Stanford have made a new incubator that may save lives of premature babies in developing nations. Hundreds of babies die from hypothermia each year, and parents can't get them to hospitals fast enough. Enter the Embrace Baby Warmer, a pouch filled with a wax-like substance that stays warm for up to 6 hours. Researchers are already working to make a version that doesn't require electricity. And that's your news from around the world. Rachel?
Professors say one of BYU's many language classes has been a dramatic increase in popularity. 11 News reporter Christy Richmond tells us why suddenly more students are taking Korean.
BYU student Brett Elder says he wanted to study Korean because he thought it would be a great way to keep up with his mission language. But since he's added the class, he's found that taking Korean might be more of a headache than helpful. The sudden jump in students interested in taking this class means many are forced to add sections at random times because the rest are already full.
The section that I'm in is from 3 to 4, and it's every day, and so it can kind of conflict with your schedule, so that's why I had to do it at the very end of the day, so it was kind of inconvenient.
Despite inconvenient class times, students keep signing up, and BYU professor Mark Peterson seems to know why.
The serious students that are studying Korean in the classroom are people who want to use it in business.
Some because of boyfriends or girlfriends.
With a growing Korean population here at BYU and a large amount of Korean-speaking return missionaries, the need for Korean classes keeps going up. And Peterson says it's not going to stop. He says Korean is headed in the same direction as popular languages like French and Italian because more and more people are interested in learning it.
Korean as a language is no longer going to be perceived as an unusual language.
Students and professors say Korea has a bigger influence on the global stage. On the BYU campus, Christy Richmond, 11 News.
Peterson says even though class sizes are growing, BYU can still accommodate the continual increase of students who are interested in learning Korean.
That's exciting. When 11 News at noon returns. Gracious goalie, one of the best goalkeepers in BYU's history, only has 8 games left in her college career.
Creature colors. Opposable thumbs are a big plus in this flag raising competition. We'll explain.
And we've had sunny weather for a while now. But is it over? Your 11 weather when we return.
So guys, the weather for conference this weekend was absolutely beautiful. It didn't even need a jacket. It was fantastic.
So true, but are we still going to keep this up? I love this nice long stretch of warm weather.
Yeah, it was great weather, but like I said before, all good things do come to an end, and we're going to be seeing rain for the rest of this week. Happy October, everybody! Yay! Looking outside right now, though, we are seeing one of the last few days of sunny weather. A few clouds outside, and not too bad. Outside, it is 63 degrees with 55% humidity, calm wind speed, so that means that it was a little chilly, but just a little, but more brisk than anything. It is going to jump up to about 10 degrees today to 74, and then calm down a little bit for your commute home. As you can see, really cloudy. High 60s, not too much to worry about yet, but of course just prepare for that because there's 20% chance of rain for today. Looking across the United States, we see a storm over the northwest part of our country really brewing up, and it is going to head its way, and we are going to see those effects later this week. We saw a little storm over the western coast, the western part of the United States. We're seeing a little bit of the tail end winds and rains for that as well. But not too much to worry about for today. So our high temperatures for today are a little lower than last week, of course. 79 in Logan, 74 in Provo, and we saw even in St. George about 100 degrees last week. And we can see the fall weather heading into this week with 85 degrees outside. Southern Utah, for the first few days of the week, we're going to see clouds. And Thursday, it is going to be that day where all the rain comes. Sorry, Angela, I know you hate rain. 80% chance. So try to limit your driving, and if you are driving, just make sure you slow down because of hydroplaning as well. Friday, you're going to see about the same temperatures as well. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for northern Utah, you're going to see about 30%, 40% chance of rain. And Thursday seems to be the jackpot day for everyone in Utah with 80% chance of rain. So make sure you break out those umbrellas. And Friday, of course, seeing those same temperatures. So it has been great weather, but here it comes, and we're heading into fall, and I personally like rain, so I'm going to make sure I'm cuddling up on the couch, not doing my homework, and getting my hot cocoa out because it's time.
Sounds good. I can't say I'm much of a fan of rain, but I can say I was a big fan of this week's football game, for sure. Brian?
Yeah, no, it was pretty incredible with Riley Nelson, the comeback. It was awesome, and it looks like we might have ourselves a little quarterback controversy here on campus. And to throw back to last year, it's Heaps versus Nelson. Next, all the highlights from the Cougars' thrilling victory over the Aggies. And the women's soccer team has a bona fide star on their hands, or should I say, thanks to her hands. All that and more right after the break. After last year's loss to Utah State in Logan, the Cougars were determined not to let that happen again, this time in Provo. And in a made-for-TV fashion, former Aggie Riley Nelson will be called to lead the comeback. After only going 11 for 25, Heaps is left to cheer from the sidelines as Nelson takes over. Cougars down 11. Wait, make that 4 when he connects with Cody Hoffman in the corner. Probably the only pretty pass he made all night long. He finished with 144 yards on 10 of 14 passing. And even the little ones are excited about it. Utah State then pulls one out of the Boise playbook with a fake field goal, but they wouldn't fool Daniel Sorensen, who breaks up the pass. Cougars still down 4. And after engineering a 98-yard drive in the final 2 minutes, do you believe in miracles? Well, Marcus Matthews must. Right place, right time. Cougars win 27-24 on the back of Nelson. After the game, Brendan Ogletree had this to say about the new QB.
No disrespect to any of my teammates, because Jake works his tail off too. But, I mean, if any of us aren't performing, you know, someone else comes in for us. And so that's football. And, you know, I trust Jake to keep a level head, and he'll fight through this, and he's going to keep working hard, and Riley's going to keep working hard. But at the end of the day, whoever moves the ball, that's who's going to play quarterback, I think.
But who does Coach Bronco Mendenhall think can move the ball as he prepares for San Jose State? There's no arguing that Nelson provided a huge spark for the team in the second half, or is there?
Oh, I don't think they did play harder, nor did I see it on film. I think that was just something they were excited about. I don't think they support one any more than the other, nor should they.
In football, wouldn't it be nice to have one more line of protection when the defense fails? Well, in football, there is. And for the BYU women's soccer team, it's goaltender Mackenzie Olsen. 11 Sports reporter Brooke Davis has more.
They call her Mac, and she's never let in more than 15 goals in a single season. She only has 8 games left in her college career, but carries the team on her back.
Mac is just a true leader. She's our team captain. She takes control of the team.
Such a reliable goalie. You can just know that she's going to save the ball when there's a shot or someone dribbling towards her, so we just have full confidence in her.
There's a reason Mac's coach and teammates have confidence in her. Olsen's goals against average and save percentage have consistently ranked in the nation's top 10 since her freshman year. In high school, Mac started out as a field player, but when the goalkeeper was cut, they threw her in.
I was kind of forced into it, but I loved it once I was there.
Little did she know the move would propel her to become one of the best goalies in BYU history. This season, Mac moved into second place all-time in saves and third all-time in shutouts. She's taken the team to the NCAA tournament every year since her freshman season.
Coach and I have, we talk before every game, and he always says to me, there's going to be one chance for you to win the game for this team. One chance, and you have to be ready.
During the game, you can find Olsen yelling instructions to her teammates, but fans might be surprised when they meet her off the field.
I'm a completely different person on the field and off the field. When I'm in the game, I kind of get intense, and I like to yell a lot, and that's not who I am at all off the field.
Olsen wears the number 32 because her grandfather wore number 32 when he played quarterback for BYU in the 40s. He died 2 weeks before her freshman season, and she said one of the last things he said to her was, "Block some goals for me." Guys?
That's one of the most beautiful things I think about sports, is that it can mean so much. It can be so personal.
Yeah, it's really inspiring to see something like that in sports.
And connecting friends and family members.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Still to come on 11 News at noon. Barely beaten. This talent show has competitors clawing their way to first place when we come back.
Raising a flag in a talent show may not seem like a big deal unless you happen to be a monkey or a bear. The Qingdao Forest Wildlife World in China had animals duking it out in different talent competitions for the coveted first place. The monkey bested his furry competition twice in the flag-raising event. Opposable thumbs might have had something to do with it. The bear came roaring back to win the cycling and roller skating events.
You think we could get one of those bears to come be our quarterback for the team?
It really does give
it. Pretty well trained.
It does give that old saying, like, monkey see, monkey do. If the monkey can rollerblade, so can I guess.
Yeah, might be a good opportunity to call PETA.
It was pretty cool, though, I have to say. And that's your 11 News at noon for Monday, October 3rd.
You can join us anytime on our website, 11news.byu.edu.
Thanks for watching. Have a great afternoon.